back. You're back. We are back together again. I am J-Lo, this is Highs with Lo, and this is my channel where I go out, do stuff, and come back and tell you about it. Today, I thought I would review this add-on lens for my Sony ZV-1. This is the kind of stuff that I do, so if that interests you, Sony ZV-1, other electronic stuff, travel, and backpacks, then consider subscribing. It's a little bit of a wide range, but I think there's people out there like me that do similar stuff that I do that have similar interests. I'm betting on it. Prove me wrong, or prove me right. Subscribe. Anyway, I think a lot of people got this camera, this Sony ZV-1. It has a lot of what vloggers and YouTubers like. It's an all-in-one camera, has a nice flippy outy screen, and great autofocus. The colors are great, gives you a lot of recording options in terms of colors and sound, has a separate microphone input. I mean, it really checks a lot of boxes, but it's not that wide. So at its widest, it is a
24mm lens.
Which is unfortunate, because when you're holding it like this, a lot of times people walk around vlogging. You're in a foreign country, you're doing this, it's quick and easy. It's a little tight, and you don't really get a lot of sense of what's going on behind the person when they're talking. The autofocus is great, like I said, but we all wish it could be just a little wider. Now, ideally, it would have been something that Sony could have added, but I get there's probably a lot of cost constraints. This thing was relatively affordable, 500 bucks for all that you get, and it does have pretty good low light performance at 1.8, an f-stop of 1.8. That's pretty nice. So, enter this. This is a wide angle lens adapter, and it's going to make it, you know what? I think it makes it like half of what it is, so maybe 14. I'm gonna have to do some research and figure out exactly what this is, what this gets you. This is a quick
math. 24 times 0.45 is 10.8
Hook it on, and then I'll mess around with it.
4 minus 1, that's 3 quick maths.
But it came in this pretty nice box. I did not find it on Amazon. They do not have it available on did not have it available on Amazon when I bought it, nor is it available right now. I just looked right now, and it's not for sale on Amazon. Not in the United States anyway. I don't know what's up with that. But I bought it on eBay, so I'll link the exact vendor, and hopefully they still have it available, but I'll link the exact product that I bought below so you can know exactly which one to get. Exactly what product to get. Has a nice little lens cover here. Oops. Look at this thing. Okay. Oh, so it's a little bit bigger than I thought. Look at that. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger, like compared to the camera. Look. So you're putting on this pretty big thing onto your camera, and it's got some heft to it, which I feel like is a good thing. It's made out of metal and glass, so it's gonna be, you know, heavy. This, I would say it's gotta be at least a third of the weight of the camera itself though. Just feeling, I mean, I don't have a scale, but it's pretty heavy. So that's the lens, and to attach it onto the camera, you need to get a lens mount adapter. So that's where this thing comes in, which I also bought off of eBay. Sorry, let me go back. This was 25 bucks on eBay. They shipped it pretty quick. It was a Chinese vendor, but I still got it from the United States within a week. It was pretty, it was curious to how they said they were shipping from China, but it really came from like Florida. I don't know what that's about. And then this you need, hopefully I bought the right size. This you need to stick onto your camera for this to have something to screw onto. So I'll just show. I'm gonna have to line this up and stick it on just like that. Man, It's gonna be tricky. I'm not the best at doing stickers and stuff. So I'm gonna have to line this up, stick it on, and then this just stays on there all the time. And then when you want the wide angle, you screw it on to the camera. When this is stuck on, you stick it onto the camera thusly. So it's gonna look like that when it's all said and done. And then if you don't need it or you're traveling, you don't want to hook it up, you just take this off and go about your merry way. I think it's telling that they gave an extra sticker for people like me who are gonna mess it up the first time. I'm not the best at this. I'm going with this. I'm going with this. Looks pretty good. I think it's nice that they're using 3M. They could have used a poorer adhesive. So 3M is going to be pretty strong. I'm going to test it out here. Just turn it on. So there's a little gap there. You see it? See that gap? Right there? That looks okay though. Let's turn it on, see what happens. That's how she looks. See that? So these are both, you order this adapter 52mm. And like I said, I'm gonna link the products below. This was 10 bucks, again on eBay. This was available on Amazon, but I figured I was already on eBay, so I just bought both on eBay. Screws on nice. Probably don't want to torque it too much because this adhesive probably weakens if you torque it. You don't want to torque it. It's pretty good on this kind of force and maybe a little bit of lateral force, but torquing it. Be careful when you're taking this off too. That's how she looks. Look at that. Okay, well, here we go. This is a test of the Sony ZV-1. Walking around here outside, a mix of shadow and light, just to see how it does. This is as wide as it goes. This is 1080p, and there's no steady shot on. It's not on active, it's not on standard, it's just me holding the camera. This is as steady as it goes, as wide as it goes. And maybe that's wide enough for you. But we're here to test to see how much wider that additional wide angle lens goes. I'll just do a couple laps here for all the settings. Next I'll do the lower level steady shot, and I will also do the next level up, the active steady shot, just to give an idea of how much cropping in that does, and then we'll compare it all when the wide angle lens is on. How about that? All right, walking the same circuit. It's like 4 o'clock, 4:30 in the afternoon today. Just holding this camera with my hand. This is how I would do it most commonly, just walking around out and about. Everything's on auto mode, and this is the low level of the standard level of steady shot on here. So just walking around, this is what it looks like. It's what it would look like walking around somewhere. See how clear it is. Notice the edges, the periphery, how sharp it is still, or how not sharp it is. I can't really tell. I'm looking at the screen. We're just doing a quick lap around here. Low steady shot on, left arm extended. This is the way you have to do it. It's really hard. It would be hard to hold. Well, I guess I could do this. This is right, but you can't see the screen if you do it this way. All right, next we'll go into active steady shot. Okay, this is basically as most is going to be cropped in at 1080p. This is 1080p with the active steady shot on, so the most image stabilization that it has available. We'll just walk a little bit here. See how smooth it is. Looks pretty smooth, probably passable. Here comes a car. Let's check that out. Thought it'd be pretty empty at the end of the day, but it's not. But it's fine. Just walking around here. Hi, how are you? They get to go play with horses. All right, so this is the final level, 1080p with active steady shot on, the most steady you can. The most cropped and zoomed in would be, for me, I'm not gonna go to 4K, that's even more cropped in, I can't even imagine. Back, this is now the widest that this can be with the wide angle lens on. So we're at no active stabilization at all, 1080p mode. And I'm doing 24 frames a second, 24p right now, just to get it a more cinematic look. Am I looking cinematic? Can you see the movement? Does that look cinematic movements? So this is what it looks like walking around, super wide angle. It is pretty wide. And even though there's no steady shot, it's not that bouncy, is it? It looks pretty steady. It's pretty steady. Not too bad. We'll see what it is with some steady though. All right, here we go. This is standard active stabilization on. Steady shot, or whatever it's called. Medium version of it. My left arm actually is getting a little tired. Switch to my right, but you can't see the screen if you do it that way. Walk a little faster now and see if that makes any difference. Am I covering this? Yeah. It's covering the mic. I don't know if that makes any difference. And I didn't bring the toupee with me. Oh well. This is it. How it looks. Standard active stabilization going on. I'm not getting that it crops it in very much. This is the wide angle lens, but it doesn't look that different than it did previously with no image stabilization on. Now we'll do the most cropped in, active, high active stabilization. Now here's the big question. This is active stabilization, highest level, and I've got the wide angle lens on. It's as wide as it's gonna get. Is this enough? Is this cool for walking around? Definitely more than my cell phone got, my Galaxy S9. I don't know about the new phones though. The S20 or the new iPhone, will they beat this in terms of wide angle? I don't know. Do I have blurred background out? Let me see. Defocus. Oh, I didn't have it on before. Look at that. Is that good? Is that good? Look at how background. Look at these. Can you see those guys back there? The links. I think this is nice, although I will say it's added a little bit of weight. My thumb's getting a little tight. I don't know how long I can walk around like this, but this is what it looks like. This is the most common use I would have for it. Little blurred background courtesy of Sony, wide angle lens, active steady shot to make the footage look smoother and more palatable. Pretty good. It's pretty good. Take it back and we'll see what it looks like.
So I was thinking, how can I show this better? So I wanted to do a head-to-head of each stage of the stabilization with and without the wide-angle lens. So on the left here we have a naked camera, no wide-angle lens, and no stabilization, 1080p, and on the right is the wide-angle lens. I personally think it's all pretty darn shaky, and I would not use it like this. Clearly, you get a lot of boost of the surrounding area with the wide-angle lens though, which is really nice. Maybe if you're just standing there, or you had some kind of gimbal for stabilization, this would be great. All right, next, this is the second level of stabilization. On the left, we have the camera without a wide-angle lens, and on the right, it's with the wide-angle lens. Second level of stabilization, so second level of cropping in. Again, this is all 1080p. And personally, I think it's maybe usable, but it's not great. I mean, if you're walking really smoothly, you can get away with it, but I still don't think like if I was really walking around town with it, I would get much use out of this at this mode. So I think the next mode is really going to be where the money's at. Let's check it out, okay? Okay, this is the final level. On the left here, we have the naked camera with the max level of steady shot image stabilization going. And on the right, it is the wide angle lens adapter with maximum level of image stabilization. And I think this is it. I think this is what we were hoping for when we got this camera, that you would have this wide of an angle lens. You can see a decent amount behind you, and it's stable. Like, I can use this footage walking around the city, and it's pretty smooth. You get that background blur if you turn it on with the camera, and I think it's looking pretty good. The drawback is this thing's kind of heavy still, so it's still not ideal because it's something you have to add on, and it's heavy, and yeah. But let's take it back real quick, and I'll do a wrap up. All right, what did you think? This is my fire in California, COVID, can't go outside, can't do anything here, didn't have to do anything in terms of work today, hair. All right, so just a quick recap of this thing. On the pluses, it's only 30 bucks for the lens and the adapter. That's not a lot of money to spend. It adds a lot of background presence to your shot. It really does. It's noticeable. I think the optics are pretty good. I can't find fault with it. And maybe if I was to zoom in, you could see some blurring or degradation of the image. But I mean, I'm at 1080p and it's looking pretty darn good. Certainly a YouTuber is not going to, fuss about that. It did have a little lens flare, but I kind of like it. It's kind of cool that it has a little lens flare in there. The disadvantages, though, and there are some, is that it does cost $30, just something that you already bought, right? You're hoping you're going to get all your needs served by one piece of kit, and you had to buy something else to put it on, and that something else is a little bit heavy. I was getting some fatigue carrying this thing with the lens on it, because the lens actually, like I was mentioning, probably adds like 30, maybe even 40% to the weight of the camera, which is not nothing. It's not nothing. But all that being said, the camera is not that usable without having active steady shot on. You need that to use it in the wild. And once you have that on, it's cropped in so much that you add on this wide angle lens and it makes it usable again. And that's what I need. I need something that I'm going to use and like the footage out of. Now, option. Could I have just upgraded my camera on my phone? Could I have just gotten a Galaxy S20 or an iPhone 11 Pro and had the same effect with a lighter form factor and something that I would use all the time anyway because it's in my pocket? Maybe. But my use case was to also use this camera for filming at home and doing other stuff for work. So that's why I went with this, and I may still be using a camera on my phone for trips, for fast footage on trips. We'll have to see. But anyway, got a little long. I hope you liked it. Hope it was helpful for people. I've got another Sony ZV-1 kind of review coming up for some of the other capabilities it has. And if you find that helpful, if that's interesting to you, or the other stuff I talk about too, please subscribe. Consider subscribing. I would love it. Thanks for being with me. I think that's it. J-Lo, masked and out.